Take a look at what's forming in the Gulf and getting pulled all over central and western Florida today. We are very much continuing to watch these heavy, strong hurricane force winds being pushed from west to east across the Pacific Ocean into the west coast of Canada and the United States today. And have you ever gone outside and seen clouds like this? Well, Iceland just saw something they thought was a beautiful sight, but when you look into the science of what these clouds are and what they mean, it becomes another story. Day 2 of 2021, it's official. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of 2021. Does it feel much different than 2020 yet? I hope it does. We are back here looking at the COD chart, COD.edu to be specific, and we are taking a look at a bunch of different situations going on. We're not going to dig into these too much because we have some interesting stuff we want to talk about, but we're going to shed some light on some of the situations going on that you can see right in front of your eyes. We could see some very strong thunderstorms and weather being pulled across central Florida, that eastern part of the Panhandle up into the southeastern states of the United States, but we can also see that's all controlled by a centralized low pressure in the center of the country, right above Texas, Oklahoma, and we can see that starting to make its way up into the northeast, the Great Lakes region. We have some lake effect situations going on near New York, Buffalo, Ontario. Got a few inches of awesome snow yesterday, which was really cool to see. And this will be an issue ongoing for the rest of the day at least. And we also have the West Coast we need to talk about. And for that, we'll pull up windy.com. Take a look at some of these wind gusts that are heading towards the west coast of Canada and the United States. We talked about this yesterday. And even though this Alaskan bomb cyclone that is out in the Bering Sea is way far away from the west coast of the U.S. and Canada, we need to understand that this is almost like a big giant gear that is spinning counterclockwise and pushing all the weather that is underneath it. All this moisture almost looks as if it's an atmospheric river, but look at the pockets within these wind fields. These are hurricane force winds. It isn't too uncommon to see these winds coming across an open ocean such as the Pacific with a big storm looping up above it near Alaska. But seeing this pattern of weather is just something we haven't seen in a while, and seeing these wind gusts hitting the west coast is going to be something not only they need as far as moisture and snow, but then we need to focus on what happens with these systems once they get into the country, once they get into our jet stream, and then they become an issue for the Great Lakes, Gulf region, or the Northeast. And before I get into the situation going on in Iceland, which is going to be very interesting, a bittersweet type of situation, I guess you can say, once again, take a look at this wind field, all being controlled basically by this bomb cyclone going on near the Outer Banks in Alaska. Now take a look at what we're going to expect along that west coast, the northwest coast of the US and Canada as far as snow. Now when we take these systems, we're going to have round after round after round of these systems being controlled by a low pressure system, and it's almost like an atmospheric river as we discussed before. But take a look at the snow expected in western Canada and then along Oregon and Washington. And all I'm going to do is hit the tab for the next 24 hours and then 72 hours. Then we're going to 5 days and 10 days. Here is over 1 day. We can see that already accumulating mostly in the Canada, the western Canada region. Over the next 3 days, we start seeing Washington getting its fair share. Over the next 5 days, we see even more added on top. And then, of course, we get our 10-day forecast, which can change. And we see actually multiple feet of snow in the higher elevations in the west coast. So it is still very important to backtrack weather even across the Pacific Ocean to then see what happens when it gets to the west coast and then moves its way across the U.S. and then eventually to the northeast. And it can really seem like you're just following a story. Very interesting stuff. Now, my friends, we're going to get into an interesting story. So some of you may have read or seen on the Weather Channel a few days ago in Iceland. As you can see here, this is the photo I'm specifically talking about. I won't air it too much for copyright reasons. But what we need to know here is what a polar stratospheric cloud is. And basically that is what you're looking at here. These images have been photographed before, but the meaning behind them is what is very interesting. Anybody would point a camera at these clouds and think it was the most beautiful sight ever. But once you realize what the meaning and how these clouds form, that is when the news goes from good to pretty morbid. Now, if you search mother of pearl clouds and then the Weather Channel, you will come to this article and this video, which was posted 2 days ago. I will not play it, but basically it explains that when you see these clouds, you are actually looking at the result of a hole in the ozone layer. Yes, that's right. These clouds are actually formed by by little tiny ice particles high up in the atmosphere. These are high altitude clouds. And it is described, especially on this video on the Weather Channel that I will share the link for, that the sun then reflects off these ice particles, and also the effects from which a hole in the ozone layer can affect sunlight and or the weather in the atmosphere itself. And we end up getting pictures like these with these rainbow looking clouds. Now there is a little bit of a difference between some of the rainbow type colors you see in a halo over the sun or the moon compared to these clouds. Two different things, but as you can see, they are photographed fairly often. I didn't even know about this until I started researching it, but now that I know it represents a hole in the ozone layer, I may think twice about what I'm taking pictures of. And for those of you that want a more clear definition, we can go over to the Weather Channel and look at the video the meteorologist Ari made over here. A very good definition of what these clouds are, how they are formed, and what exactly you are looking at. And last but not least, we always want to come over and check the Data Buoy Center. These are tsunami buoys. They measure changes in the level of water temperature. They measure all sorts of things, and it looks like we are having a calm day today. We will check on this on a daily basis, as well as other charts and graphs that we now have time to check out. That hurricane season is over for the most part. Who knows, my friend? Maybe 2021 will bring us things we didn't even see in 2020, but let's not even go there right now. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I will be digging into some anomalous things going on around the world when it comes to weather. Very interesting stuff. Keep you guys on your toes. If anybody has any submissions they want to send me, any interesting things they've seen in the sky or on weather charts, anything of that nature, please feel free to email me those and post them in the comments section, or let me know where to look for them, and I will certainly make a combination video of those pictures and stuff that people submit. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will be back tomorrow with more information on what's going on around the globe. Shout out to Canada. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful and safe day. Day 2 of 2021. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.